Good morning, everyone. Just jumping back on here today to bring you part 10 of our NASCAR for Beginner series. Um, Jumped on real quick, wanted to get this going. Planned to do it a little earlier, but things got tied up and was going to sit down and watch qualifying and practice for the truck series at Rockingham, which is on behind my shoulder there if you see the TV in the background. So we'll catch up to that here in a few minutes. Probably nothing to discuss on this stream due to the simple fact that they won't start qualifying until 12:30, 12-ish, somewhere around there. So we probably won't be on, but it's on FS2 or the Fox app if you can get it on there. So uh, pretty cool to watch. It's a good historic track, like I mentioned in my preview of it. So if you get a chance, jump on, tune it in. So we're going to go through some stuff from my trip this past weekend, just kind of letting everybody know what you can do, what's going on, things, just a little bit of everything, kind of a hodgepodge of the weekend over at Martinsville Speedway. So we'll jump in with the fan experience. The fan experience is actually a free event. You don't even have to, unless the track pays for parking or makes you pay for parking. You can normally park for free at most tracks and just walk in to the fan experience. You don't have to have a race ticket, nothing. So you can go do some looking around, enjoy it, and then leave. So that's something that's a little unique to a lot of sporting events that I've seen. There's not a lot going on outside of the actual stadium. Once you get in the stadium, there's people doing giveaways and things like that. But at NASCAR, it's all outside. It's free for fans. You get there, you walk in. Normally there's a sign somewhere for the racetrack, some sort of logo out there you can take pictures with. Martinsville actually had the grandfather clock that they give away out there you could take pictures with. All the merchandise haulers from all of the Cup Series teams. NASCAR's normally got one there, the NASCAR Classics one, which got some throwback like your Dale Earnhardt and other drivers from the past. Some of their memorabilia is there. Some general just NASCAR stuff. There's normally whoever the sponsor is. The past race at Martinsville was Cookout. And so Cookout had a booth up where you could spin to win prizes. I won a hat and let's see if I can grab it real quick, and a Rubik's Cube. O'Reilly's is normally always there since they're also the big sponsor of the Xfinity series or the O'Reilly's Auto Parts series. They're giving away stuff. We've got, coupons for $5 off, a purchase of 10. Got another Rubik's Cube. So there's stuff they give away. I got a hat from Bass Pro Shops. This shirt was free just for filling out some info on Ford Racing's site out there. Ford had their Raptor, a Bronco. It was a Raptor Bronco, actually. And then the Dark Horse Mustang you could sit in, and man, they're nice. There's just all kinds of things to do at the fan experience. One of the coolest things that I found when we were there was we went Sunday morning. The fan experience opened at 8. We got there, and you walk around, and all the haulers have placards out. I say placards, but little signs out saying what's going on that day at their hauler. Are any drivers going to be there signing stuff? If they are, is there a requirement to get it signed? Some drivers, the more popular, normally request that you buy. Some of them are a die cast, which is normally about $90 to $100. Some say you need to spend $50 in merchandise, just different things. Some are free. And if you go with somebody and you have stuff to sign, then if you have two things you want to get signed, you can get it signed, and then the person with you can get something signed, like me and my wife do. We went down and visited all the race shops and got all the cards, the like info cards from all the drivers, like Josh Berry, which is signed, Cole Custer, which is signed, and Austin Cindric, which is signed. More on that in a little bit. I even got a photo with Ryan Preece. My wife got all those same autographs I just showed you. She got, and then she also got Ryan Preece's daughter, who was with him up there, scribbling on one of his little cards. She got her to sign the card too, so that was a pretty neat experience. I think it was more of an experience for my wife than it was for his daughter. She loved it. But I have a hat from Daytona 2024, and I'm starting to go around with it and get different drivers to sign it. And my goal is to get all the drivers to sign that hat. So, will it happen with all of them? I don't know. It just depends on what the driver's requirements are at that point. So, but there's, like I said, tons of free stuff given away. Air fresheners, little bags to carry around, shirts. There's just so much stuff to do. But one of the coolest things was, again, it was a Sunday morning, 8 a.m. And when you walk in, they had Christian music playing. And people are just milling around. Nobody's mad. Nobody's, whatever. And then at around 10:30ish, 11 o'clock, somewhere around there, they actually have a tent put up in the fan zone near the back where they do question and answers with all the different drivers and stuff, where they actually hold a church service. Not, anything, not getting religious on anybody, but not many sporting events have a church service on Sunday morning. It's just one of the things NASCAR does. They have a prayer before every race. So pretty cool. If you're into that and you're like, well, we're going to miss church. Well, you can actually get church there. And the speaker at the track this week was Joe Gibbs. Yeah. The former Hall of Fame head football coach of the Washington Redskins was the one. He was giving a speech up there with his whole ministry thing he does. So just something kind of cool. To me, it was kind of unexpected. I had never gone to a race that early to walk around the fan zone. So I had never really seen that side of it, but really, really cool. We got in, we parked, we walked around, we killed time. Literally, the race was at 3:30. We were there from 8 o'clock, and the only problem we had was it was a little chilly that morning. And if you were standing in line for an autograph and you were in the shade, it was pretty cold. But other than that, it was a great experience. My wife and I both had just so much fun. That's another bucket list track we can march off. Got Lawrence Whitmore down here in the chat posting up. Appreciate you tuning in. Says, I enjoy your shows. Well, I'm glad. I do it wanting to get people involved, and people like yourself jumping in the chat definitely helps kind of keep it rolling. I just want to get people to know what there is to do out there. That's, to be honest, way, way more cost efficient than any other sporting event I've ever gone to. You can't get in to places free to buy stuff. I mean, you can go to their fan shops that are normally attached to their stadiums, but that's just one team. You've got access to every team, every driver. And so I'm just trying to use this as a platform to get more people involved, get maybe some of the younger generation involved, just things like that. So definitely appreciate you tuning in. So that's a little bit of the fan experience, what goes on outside. And every track's different. Some tracks, based on size of their lot, I guess, are going to have a smaller fan experience. Some are going to have a bigger one. You would expect that. Martinsville was a little small. It was more compact. But like when we went to Michigan, Michigan was huge. St. Louis was actually spread out huge. It was massive. Bristol had a pretty good sized one for the size of track it is, but it was still smaller in comparison to your Michigans and your bigger tracks. But every track's different. Every lot is different. So every race is going to have different stuff there. So that's why our goal is to just travel around and hit a different track every year or a couple of tracks a year. Like I said, we may not even go to the race. We'll just go walk the fan experience, see what we can get signed, and then head home. And that's what makes it easy, too, because if you pick a weekend where you have the Truck Series, the O'Reilly Series, and the Cup Series, and you're going to be in that area or it's close to you, you could literally just go to the fan experience every morning for a couple of hours, do stuff, and leave every day and get different drivers and different stuff. You get a different experience every time. So that's just what I enjoy with it. Kind of went over some of the free stuff that you get, the hats, the stuff like that. Again, some tracks are different. Some will have more to give away. Some will have less. I mean, they were giving away, what else was out there being given away? Like Mountain Dew had a tent up. Of course, Cookout, Bass Pro Shops, O'Reilly's. A couple of there's always normally a country music station out there playing music, or a classic rock station, one of the two, playing music and doing giveaways. So there's just lots of things to do. And you can get free. Not that the free stuff is super, super exciting, but it's free stuff and it's just kind of fun. You normally spin the little wheel, or O'Reilly's had you throw in dice. O'Reilly's had a car out there you could sit in and get pictures made in. There's other versions of cars out there, Legends cars, modifieds. There's different cars you can look at. My wife's popping up in the back. I'm getting to that when I get to the whole family experience. But yeah, that's valid. That's why I put that in here. She just mentioned another section, but it's coming up in a little bit. Access to drivers at these things. Again, I've said it in numerous or a few of these beginners parts. There is no other sport that I can think of that gives you the amount of access to the superstars, which, the superstars are the drivers. Some will argue the cars are the superstars, but, walk around the fan experience, and we walked up, and at the last second, we were literally the last people. Cole Custer was finishing up signing autographs, and he had nobody in line. We walked up and he immediately just signed stuff. No questions asked, didn't buy nothing, just here you go. Then, Josh Berry and Austin Cindric were signing together. So we got wristbands for that, which some of them will have a limited number of wristbands. That's why I suggest getting there early. Berry and Cindric were limited to 100. We got ours right away. Ryan Preece was no wristband required. Cole Custer was no wristband required. And there was a couple others that we could have got with no wristband or no purchase. But the problem is they were at the same time as the ones we were getting. And yeah, we could have split up to go to different lines, but there's a reason why we don't. And I'll get into that at the end of this whole podcast. I mean, you're not going to go to a Bengals football game or a Cowboys football game unless you pay astronomically for the experience to go do it and be able to walk by all the players and get them to sign stuff for you. If you're lucky enough and they come by, especially in baseball's a little more open. If you catch them going to the dugout or during warm-ups, some of the players will sign stuff for kids. But I mean, we had guys. There was a guy going to the Ryan Priest line carrying the whole front end bumper of a car he had bought, like the whole sheet metal bumper. And he set it up there, and Ryan Priest signed right there on the bumper. It's just crazy the amount of access NASCAR drivers give you, questions and answers with some of the superstars. They'll talk to them for a minute, open a mic, and they'll walk around with a microphone asking if anybody has questions for Chase Elliott or Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, and you can ask them questions. So, and it's free. So, I love the access NASCAR gives to the superstars. And a lot of the superstars do it because they know that's, for lack of a better term, where their bread is buttered. Some of them, you can tell they do it because it's their job. But again, they have families and things at the track, and they're giving up their time to go do it. So I don't really hold it against them. I wish it was more open. We saw Carson Hocevar while we were waiting in line. He was doing some signings, and he was walking to get back on his golf cart to head back to the infield to start getting prepped for driver intros, and a bunch of kids just swarm him. And what's he do? Stops, pulls out a Sharpie, and just starts signing stuff till they were done. That's the kind of person that those kids are going to remember, and those kids will probably be a fan of his for as long as he's racing. So it helps with the younger people. Plus, it helps that he's a younger kid himself. Just went through the autographs right there, talking about it. We got quite a bit of stuff signed from us. So as my wife mentioned, lovingly from the background, she's a backseat podcaster. Is there something for the whole family? Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. This track did not have, and if they did, we didn't see it. But most tracks have the fan experience. But then attached to it is what we like to call the flea market. Just kind of vendors out there selling stuff. I mean, NASCAR trading cards, die casts, earrings, T-shirts, name it. So, something you would see if you went to like a flea market or a craft fair. Yeah, that's probably a better option, but we like to call it the flea market because that's just what it reminds us of. So, there's all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, there's the stuff. I mean, if you're a guy and you've got your wife and your kids with you, there's plenty of stuff for a guy to do. If your wife is not a huge NASCAR fan, mine is into NASCAR, but she's not like me, big into NASCAR. But we go to those flea market things. She has as much fun out there as she does at the fan zone. So, I mean, there's like I said, clothes, shoes, earrings, jewelry. A lot of times, yeah, you can get the little Stanley cups with little sayings and things on them. It's everything out there that you can just look at and browse and walk through. And so there's something, for and I'm using the man as the big NASCAR fan, and that's probably wrong, sexist, but that's just our dynamic that I'm basing all this off of. But if we were to take my granddaughter, what's she going to do? Well, there is a whole kid zone at all of these. and there's a little bitty youth series car, go-kart, pretty much sitting out there that kids can sit in and take pictures in. And I'll be posting pictures of that car and stuff on some other sites I'll get to here in a little bit. She can get a marker, no Sharpie, and write a little saying, or the parents can write something on a car that's out there. The kids can sign it. I mean, whoever. And then at the Martinsville race, they had a couple of different sessions with, I know one was Carson Hocevar, and I want to say the other one was Ricky Stenhouse, where they came over and were building race cars out of Legos with the kids and then racing them. At the kids zone, they had a little remote control car area where kids could drive it around and whatever. What else is in the kids zone? There was little mascots walking around. They could have gotten a picture with. The little cookout, I think his nickname's Lugnut, was walking around. They could have got pictures with.
Sparky from the fire department.
Yeah, Sparky from a fire department was there. I mean, there's so much for those kids to do there that, you could literally go do your stuff, stop by the kids zone, leave, go do the little flea market area, come back to the kids zone if your kid's getting bored. There's just so many. And again, because it's all free, if you get there and do your stuff and get your autographs and get your free merchandise and do the shopping you want to do, and I would suggest, look for something, try to buy something if you can, if it's within your budget, just because, these guys are out there giving their time too. I mean, that's why you can just come, do your thing, do your shopping, do the kids zone stuff, and then leave and go find something else to do for the day, or go home and take a nap, or whatever it is you want to do. So there's definitely something for the entire family to do at these events. So. Oh yeah, plenty of like selfie opportunities. Photo ops. Not just with stuff that's out there, but the cars you can get them, the drivers. I mentioned the signs outside of the stadium. Even Martinsville, before you get to where you give your ticket to go through the gate to get into the stadium, the racetrack, there's the big Martinsville sign that you can take your picture of. There's always the NASCAR logo you can take your picture with. There's just all kinds. Bristol has, I can tell you, Bristol has a couple of them. Bristol has the Bristol sign. Bristol has the It's Bristol Baby sign. There's tons of photo ops and, options to record. We've got some that'll be getting put up here in a little while. We'll again get into that here in a few minutes. But there's something for the whole family. If you can't find something for the whole family, then you can definitely comment and let me know.
And I'll do a better job of shopping.
And my wife said she'll do a better job of shopping. She doesn't need any encouragement. Like I said, she's not even the biggest NASCAR fan, and she enjoys going there and doing the stuff and looking at the shops and buying stuff. And she always harasses me that we have too many koozies, but yet she bought another one for herself while we were there. So, but it was pink and it said NASCAR, so she wanted it. So yeah, I mean, there's something there for everybody. Before we jump into the fan rewards, let's see what WTP for Life wants to say. What's the closest NASCAR racing event to Columbus, Ohio? I need to put a race on my bucket list. That is, that one's pretty easy to resolve. To be honest, if they're racing the Truck Series or O'Reilly Series sometimes race at Mid-Ohio, right about 30 to 40 minutes north of Columbus. It's a road course, not my favorite, but it's an event. The closest for the Big Cup Series is in Michigan. It's in Brooklyn, Michigan. It's about 2.5 hours. Yeah, about 2.5 hour drive. Right up there to it. Big, wide open, sprawling, free parking. Michigan's a big, huge 2-mile track, and it sits out in the middle of nothing. But I will tell you, if you go to Michigan, anybody that watches this, if you go to the Michigan race, yeah, take sunscreen because it is in June. But also, if you're looking for breakfast on the way to the track, there's a hole in the wall place called the Wooden Spoon. Go there and do yourself a favor. But be sure you wear comfortable pants. That was one of the most amazing. We ate breakfast there twice. Yeah.
And they went back on the next weekend.
Yeah, we ate breakfast there twice on the race weekend. We wanted to go do some more tooling around in Michigan, so we went back the following weekend and just kind of tooled around the shops and downtown and over in Ann Arbor and stuff, which I know that's not popular for Columbus, Ohio people, but we went up there and tooled around there and ate there again for breakfast one day. And it was about a 45-minute drive to go to breakfast that morning because we weren't staying out where we were staying. We were staying further into Ann Arbor, but doesn't matter. Do yourself a favor. You talk about putting the race on your bucket list. I mean, literally.
Bristol is the race for your bucket list.
Yeah, my wife said Bristol is the race for your bucket list. That is the ultimate race to start with for everybody, I would suggest. However, that's a 6-hour drive. Not bad. Martinsville is only about a 5 to 6 hour drive, which is a good racetrack too. Michigan being 2.5 hours, or Indianapolis is 3. But let me tell you something. If you go to the race at Indianapolis, in the Brickyard 400, you're brave. I'm not sure I can deal with that crowd. You're talking upwards of the attendance when it first started being ran was upwards of about 300,000. It kind of fell back, and I think last year it was in the 180 range. So you're talking 180,000 people. I still want to do it because it's Indianapolis, but my wife might have to just sit at the hotel if I go to the race that day. But Indianapolis is a huge sprawling complex, so it may not be as bad either. We'll just have to see. But I can tell you, excuse me, based on you need to put a race on your bucket list. And this will tie into my next topic, so that's a perfectly asked question, Robert. Fan rewards. I've mentioned fan rewards numerous times. How you can get more free merchandise from NASCAR. I say free, you have to pay for shipping, but here nor there. But you're talking about wanting to go to Michigan, or you mentioned one. So let's go look real quick at my fan rewards. And this is only after 7 weeks, mind you. There's 36 weeks in a NASCAR season. So we're 1/5 pretty much of the way through the season. So let me bring this up. Okay, so as you see, you've got the dashboard with my points, 2,503 points right now, just in 7 weeks. As soon as I can get this to click, there's my favorite driver. Why won't you click? There it goes. So it'll load. So 2,503. Oh, you got here, like this right here, 50 winners will score prizes each week for a chance to win a $50 gift card or 2 tickets to an O'Reilly Series race. You could win. It's a sweepstakes. Play it at your own risk. It normally takes 50 points per one entry. If you can find, just these things are just different things. Enter for your chance to win a Coke Zero 400. That's at Daytona. It might be a Talladega. No, it's Daytona. So different things I've gotten now. Okay, so you want to go to a truck series race. So we go to the rewards catalog. And when it pops up, you'll see what we can get. So we have 2,503 points. Here's more, 50 points for one chance to win tickets to the championship weekend down in Miami. Everything, food and beverage, hotel, Sunday access, pre-race and post-race, 2 reserve tickets in the Champions Club. Pretty cool. It'll go through some of the things you can do, browse tickets. We'll get to that in a second. Oops, hit the wrong button. Merchandise. User points for autographed merchandise. This is just like talking about regular merchandise, even though it shows Ryan Blaney signing a card. No, that's not me. He's signing the card for me. So scroll down here. Here's autographed merchandise. So 12,000 points, you can get hats or helmets signed by different drivers. Other items, t-shirts, sunglasses, computer backpack, grilling sets, bottle opener, seat cushions, socks, umbrella. I mean, just different things you can get. You're into golf, here's a golf towel. You want a fanny pack? Why would you? But there's one. A die-cast car of the NASCAR trading paint. Just different point. I mean, I could get the die-cast right now. I'm not going to because I save mine up and normally throw them out at the end of the year. Tickets. Okay, so you want to go to an event. Let's look at tickets. Where can you get tickets to? Well, look. I have, what did I say? 2,503 points. For 2,500 points, I can get 2 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race tickets for Michigan for free. Just boom. I can get them for Richmond in Virginia, Phoenix, Chicagoland over in Joliet, which is going to be the first race back this year. That's for the O'Reilly Series. That's 3,000 points. I'd have a little bit more work to go. And as the season gets more towards the end and they start releasing the schedules and stuff, they'll start releasing tickets for next year. This year, I didn't see a lot of Cup Series tickets. But again, I'm not sure if that's because they're trying to get some more attendance into the lower tiers. So they're using those for giveaways now. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. You just have to check back once in a while. But I can literally get 2 free tickets to Michigan right now. So yeah, there's so many different things you can get. You can get digital gift cards if you want to trade your points in. $25 for 6,000 points for Amazon. Just Walmart, 25 for 6,000 points. I mean, there's so many different options to get stuff. So that's where I'm at with mine. And you may be like, well, how are you getting this many points? Well, let's click on this. Now, you can see what I've done in the past. Diecast. These are subscriptions I put into. San Diego, I put my stuff into that. A collection of Lionel diecasts again. I don't remember what this is. Gaming setup. Oh, I think I put 10 into for a steering wheel, gas pedal, and all that for the NASCAR race game. Let me see. I was trying to see if I could get back further, but it only goes through last year or so. but the previous years is when we've bought tickets for. So let's go to all. Close that. To get your points, I mean, it's been, I've talked about it, and it's fine. I don't mind. I'll keep telling y'all about it. Go over here to fan rewards. So creating your profile gets you bonus points. Signing up for the newsletters gets you bonus points. I don't get a whole lot of spam from them. But it gives you bonus points for just selecting you want the newsletters. And then sometimes the newsletters have promo codes that are good for points. If you buy tickets, like actually buy them, not trade in points, through the NASCAR site, you get points. Going to the track, there's a track check-in, NASCAR Tracks app, which is a separate app from this. You can check in at the track. I got 250 points for checking into the Martinsville race. They have questions every, you could even see, we'll go right here real quick. These are just how I've gotten my points. This is going, this only goes back to March 4th. Powerball, they have that every Wednesday where you just click it and the little balls roll around and you get whatever points. Normally it's 10. This is for answering a trivia question on Thursday. They just one out every Tuesday and every Thursday. I get 13 points. When you first start, you'll get 10. As you go up in tiers, you'll get bonus points. I'm at a champion level. And once you hit that champion level, by the way, you don't have to reset and start over the next year. You stay at champion forever. This is the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series leaderboard. So when they race, I hit check-in during the race, 63 points. Cup Series check-in, 63 points. So that's 126 points just for one weekend of checking in to races. Let me see. This was a Tuesday, 13 more points. Powerball again. Setting my fantasy lineup, 13 points. Dashboard points again for the question. Check-in. Now this one, I checked in 5 times in a row. So I got 63 and 126 just for that one race. Fantasy lineup, 13. Oh, wait, I did it 5 times. Another 63. Cup Series leaderboard, same thing, twice. These are just all the points. NASCAR, this is when we were at the track in Martinsville, 250 points. I got 40 points on Powerball this past week, which was not normal. I have the premium NASCAR mobile app where I can have access to scanners and stuff like that from the drivers. So every month I get 63. You'll get bonus points for your birthday. See if we can get this to look. So you can see how quick it is to just build points. Here's the badges I've earned so far. These are how you get. These are for points. Season badges, leaderboards. You can see the ones I haven't gotten. I haven't voted on the Hall of Fame. That will come out later in the year with there'll be a post on the NASCAR website and you can vote and you'll get, I think it's normally 100 points. Voting for the All-Star race when it comes out is another, I think, 100 points. Why it's on there twice, I don't know, unless they're letting you vote twice. I don't know. This is new. I need to do some research on this. It's the Dash for Cash. I need to check it out. In fact, we can look at it together. Earn 25 points weekly from 3:30 to 5:03 when you enter for your chance to win prizes on your dashboard. It's for 25 points. I haven't entered it, but I could and still get it. Here's the NASCAR check-in streak for the Craftsman Truck Series, which they haven't hit the streak yet. And then here's the more of them. So let's just click this one. So this is, that's 5 consecutive. Let me go back up here. If you check into every race on the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, that's 500 points. And I believe it's the same with the cup. Let me find the top cup one right here. Yeah, 500. So if you do all 3 series and get a perfect season, you're looking at 1,500 points. NASCAR merchandise, or when you make a merchandise online, if you buy something from NASCAR.com, make a donation, play every week of fantasy season, 500 more points. There's 2,000. You've almost got now tickets to Truck Series. But if you do, then you're going to get 10 weeks, 20 weeks, 30 weeks. If you go to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, which I highly suggest, that's 100 points, and they give you a code to put in. But I was telling you, you'd be close. That's just for 30. You're going to get bonus points for, I'll get another 100 when I reach 10, and then 200 when you reach 20. So points are so easy to come by in this. If you will just go through and set it up and remember every weekend there's a race. This weekend there's not a Cup Series race, so there's no fantasy lineup. But the Truck Series and the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series are both racing this weekend. So like I said, the Truck Series is on behind me doing practice and qualifying. I believe that the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series is actually practice and qualifying today too. Let's look real quick if y'all don't mind. And if you do, I'm sorry. Where's my weekend schedule? There it is. So you can click the weekend schedule and it'll tell you everything for the weekend. Like click your day, Friday. Yep, practice and qualifying is today. The race is tonight at 4:30 for the Truck Series. And then Saturday, you've got ARCA Menards, which are fun to watch, young kids mainly. And then you've got the race tomorrow at 2:30. So again, the Cup Series is off. They take 2 weekends off a year, Easter, and then another one, which is, I want to say, the end of August. I'll have to look up the schedule. Let's see what their schedule says. So here's your bye week right here. And then the next bye week is, at the end of July, after the Indy Brickyard 400, before we go to Iowa. There's a bye week there too. That's the last bye week. And then they run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14 consecutive weeks. So there's not a lot of breaks in a NASCAR season. That's why, to me, it's the best. And look, it ends in November 8th. And then if you come back up to the top and see when it starts, February 4th, you're talking 3 months, 90 days of off time before a new season starts. So that's just what makes it good for me, is it's going pretty much all year long. But points are so easy to come by. We'll stop sharing that now and bring myself back full screen, which will make some of y'all upset probably. WP. Is Bristol in Nashville? No. Bristol is actually in Bristol, Tennessee. It is right on the border, literally. There's a Bristol, Tennessee and a Bristol, Virginia, and they're both, it's pretty much the same.
One's on one side of
Yeah,
the street,
it's pretty much one's on one side of the street, one's on the other. For people down south that may have ever been there, if you've ever been through Texarkana, Texas, it's the same thing. One side is Texas, one side's Arkansas. So,
the state line is down the middle of the road.
but yeah, the state line is down the middle of the road. You can literally stand in the road, be sure there's no cars coming. Safety first. You can actually stand and put your legs and be standing in 2 states at one time. Pretty cool. Bristol's a fun little town. There is a race in Nashville, Nashville Speedway. Really, really good race. It's a fun race to watch. Kansas, Nashville. Those are some of the tracks that I really enjoy the racing at. Texas is getting better. It was really good, fell off. Now it's coming back up because they've done some readjustments to the track. But Nashville's good. Chicagoland, I'm really looking forward to this year too. That's going to be a fun race. I've always liked it when they raced there in the past. It went away due to lack of attendance. But yeah, the Bristol is literally 6 hours, right near the Virginia. I want to say it was from Charlotte, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hour drive to Bristol. Does that sound about right? When we left Charlotte and went to Bristol that day, babe?
What?
When we went to Charlotte and went to Bristol, it's about 2 hours.
If.
Yeah, somewhere right around there. For us, it's 2 hours because we stop and piddle and do stuff for sure. But, you know, Bristol is just a phenomenal track. I'll tell you this: if you go to a race, any race, well, not any race, let me rephrase that. But if you go to a race and you like cars and you like sounds and you like speed, if you go to a NASCAR race, you'll go to another one. Michigan is the fastest track on the circuit. The cars have been slowed down some, but if they would let the cars go, those cars back in the day used to run 212 into the corners, 212 miles an hour down the straightaway, and then they have to, of course, back down to about 180 in the corners. So Michigan's a super fast track, very fun track, big, wide. Bristol's not quite big. Michigan's 2 miles, Bristol's half a mile. So you can imagine you put 36 cars on a half mile track. It's crazy. You're running 14-second laps. It's pretty crazy. So, but Nashville's a good one to go to. Atlanta, there's numerous tracks. I'll do a track ranking, my track ranking on one of these for beginner series. To kind of, I'll probably, some of the road courses will be further towards the bottom just because it's not my cup of tea. One road course / street course I'm really looking forward to this year is San Diego, where they're racing on the naval base out there. So that's going to be pretty fun. And if you haven't seen the trailer for that race, look it up on YouTube. It's insane. But Bristol, yeah, Nashville's got one. The closest ones to us, to be honest with you, Robert, is, of course, Michigan. Indianapolis is 3 hours. Pocono's like 7 hours, I think, the Pocono Mountains. Used to be one just south of Cincinnati in Kentucky. It's not being raced right now. People keep streaming for it to come back because it used to put on good races. Joliet, Illinois is probably 6-7 hours. The Martinsville, Virginia race was about 5.5 to 6 hours from here. Bristol's about the same. Richmond, Virginia is going to be 8-ish hours, somewhere around there, 8 to 9 hours probably. Of course, Nashville, 8, 6 to 8 hours, depending on that. Atlanta, 10 to 12 hours. And then you get into your Dallas, Fort Worth, which is like 18 hours, stuff out that way. St. Louis is 6 hours. That's a good track to go watch a race at. St. Louis is 6 hours. Kansas City be about 10. There's a race in Iowa. They're all over. I'll rank the tracks probably on the next episode of this NASCAR for Beginners series. That's probably what I'll do, is a track ranking. Again, based on me. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So, really good questions. Appreciate you and Lawrence both jumping in the comments and tuning in. The last thing we're going to discuss on is, as I mentioned it before, with getting these signed, me and my wife go through. We get duplicate signatures, and I do this for a couple of different reasons. One, so I can have one, and B, I also have a Patreon. page under SEC Sean, and I do giveaways for paid subscribers, which is, I normally, if you're local to Columbus, we can meet up and I can give it to you, which I'd like to do, to give a photo op for everybody, and a shout out to you for being a paid subscriber. But if you're not, then I'll lay them out and take pictures. If you give me your phone number or an email, whatever, I can take pictures and send them to you, and you can select which one you want. And I'll drop it in the mail to you. I'll put it in a little bubbled envelope and everything for you, and ship it to you. As we get bigger, more growth on here in the Patreon, and even my TikTok channel posts a lot of videos. Under all the names are under SEC Sean, but the Patreon, the paid memberships there, if people get into the higher tiers of membership, then the giveaways will get bigger. The Wood Brothers Race Shop, I mean, I can run down there. It's about a 5-hour drive from here, 6 hours. I can run down to there, and if we get enough paid subscribers, give a signed piece of sheet metal from one of the cars to somebody. So those are some of the giveaways. I've already done one. One of the paid subscribers wound up picking one of the Ryan Preece autographs. So I met up with him, and we got a picture and posted it on there. But that's what it is. It's just going to be whoever is a paid member is going to be in. What I'll do is I'll put everybody's name in a hat, and I'll draw a name out. What I'm going to do with it is try to make it to where it's more fair. So if somebody won, like the guy who won the last one, I'm not putting his name in there. He won one. I'm not going to let somebody win 2, 3, 4 in a row. But again, that's going to be stuff that's for paid subscribers, and the higher the tier you are, the better prize you'll have and an option for. But there will be some stipulations to it as well. Like you got to be a member for so long to get the sheet metal. You got to be a member of so long to get a die cast car or something like that. There'll be some stipulations to it. They'll all be laid out on the channel. So just something I enjoy doing. I'm going to go to the races. I'm going to get the autographs anyway. Some way to just kind of share some memorabilia with somebody. The cool thing about the little cards, like I'll just use Austin Cindric because he's on top, is not only, him with his autograph, but then it gives some info on him in the back. Birthday, birthplace. I did not know that. I did not know Austin Cindric was born in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Never knew that. So, it gives you just info on them. Cole Custer, which to me, this is my wife's, it's not her favorite driver, but he's a close second just because of his name. Another one signed by him. So things like that will be given away. So like I said, you can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Patreon, and I also take this and it'll be shifted into a podcast on Spotify under NASCAR Talks. So you can search it up on your podcast there if you want to listen to it because you can't watch the video, you're driving or whatever. That's on there. TikTok is going to have tons more videos coming. I have so many videos and pictures we took on this trip. I will alert you. I am not a professional by any means with the camera. My wife is much more professional than I am with the camera. But some of the posts may include duplicate pictures and videos or whatever because I'm not a professional. and I might select the wrong thing twice. So just to forewarn you, you're like, well, I've already seen this picture. Sorry. But again, I hope some of this will get some of you so your interest perked. You can drop comments to me on this video on any of the sites that it's posted to. You can normally these videos aren't posted to TikTok, by the way, because obviously they're too long, but you can find it on YouTube and Patreon, and you can comment, ask me questions, advice. I'm not doing a fantasy lineup obviously this week because the Cup Series isn't racing. We'll get back into that next week. Next week we're going to have a really good preview. That's the Bristol race, the Bristol Spring race. Got a lot to discuss based on last year and just Bristol in general. So, in the Bristol area. So just, stay tuned for that coming next week. We'll also have a review of the Rockingham races that are going on this weekend with the 2 other series. We'll review that. That'll be one episode. And then we'll preview Bristol by itself because Bristol deserves to stand by itself. Other than that, not a whole lot. Let's see if we got any more comments in there. Nope, no more comments popped in yet. So we will jump off of here for the day, and I'm going to go watch qualifying for the Truck Series. Again, FS2 qualifying for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series comes on around 1:30ish. It is on the CW app. They don't broadcast the qualifying stuff live. But it's on the CW app. It's a free app to download to your phone. I mentioned the Arca Menard Series races Saturday. That is going to be, if you have a smart TV, Roku, whatever, and you can get Tubi, which is a free app. There's a NASCAR channel on Tubi. In the morning, Monday through Friday, they play the Morning Drive, which is a talk show that's on Sirius XM as well, with Mike Bagley, Pete Pistone. Normally Sammy is their producer, and they are fun. They have a blast on that show. And then that channel will also show classic races, normally from the race that we're going to, the racetrack. So I would expect next week you would probably have a lot of Bristol races in there. It's a free thing, so sometimes you'll get the 2007 Bristol race 3 or 4 times in that week. But again, just kind of a way to look at some of the classic races in NASCAR history. So other than that, y'all have a good rest of your afternoon on this Friday, and we will catch back up later in the week.